What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today we're going to talk about the Ripple XRP price chart, and we're going to talk about the Bitcoin price chart. We're actually going to be tying this more to the XRP price chart at the end here, so we're kind of bouncing back and forth. But if you're here just to hear about XRP, you'll understand why we have to talk about Bitcoin in this to get an idea of what's happening with XRP. Right now, XRP is $1.57. Just an hour ago, it was $1.70. So we saw this big pop up. We're seeing this pullback in XRP right now. We're seeing a pullback in Bitcoin. And well, it's been crazy in Bitcoin, right? And when we look at what's going on over here, we could see that we found some support yesterday right there on the top of that previous high. We could see that the market is mostly green for the day. I posted over here on my Twitter, we are in capitulation. Take a deep breath, relax. When you see the altcoin suddenly bounce really hard, you'll know it's over. And well, that comes from personal experience of being in the 2017 bull run and remembering exactly what those corrections were like in the summers when Bitcoin went from $3,000 down to $1,800, and how that was really one of the first times I went through a super big correction in Bitcoin and in the cryptocurrency market, and how painful and crazy that was. And if you're watching YouTube videos, you're pretty much hearing different things out of everybody, right? You've heard so much preaching about how Bitcoin's going to go way higher and it's super exciting and it's going to go great. And then now, this is not what everybody was talking about. This is not what laser eyes were about, right? Of course, over here on this channel, I've been kind of a negative Nancy towards Bitcoin for the last 3 months. But right now, we're getting to a point where we can move on from that chapter. I'm not going to be like that anymore at this point now, because we're finally getting to a great moment in time for Bitcoin. I posted this over here on Twitter yesterday, showing what structures of corrections look like and monster crashes can look like in Bitcoin during a bull market. And what we're seeing right now is the capitulation phase of a correction. And that's like back in here. So it'd be like in this moment right in here, getting ready for this final move to happen. Now, the thing is, like we're talking about with Bitcoin, is that it has held this top from back in here. And well, in 2017, we can see that that actually did work as a support once in one of the major corrections that happened for Bitcoin, taking it from $5,000 all the way down to $3,000. So is that it? My bet is going to be is that it still has just a smidge lower to go, and I'm going to show you why. First of all, when we came out of these corrections, we came out with significant strength for Bitcoin. And during that time, we saw the altcoins really take off. So what I'm talking about over here in this post, we are in capitulation. Take a deep breath, relax. When you see the altcoin suddenly bounce really hard, you'll know it's over. When the bottom came in and Bitcoin really started to move out of this, we really saw the altcoins take off. Not 1%, 5%, 8%. We're talking 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% bounces that happen with those altcoins. We haven't seen that yet. Plus, we could see that in each of these crashes, there tends to be the shorts closing out down in here before we have one final push that happens. The scary push, the one where people really think the market's going to fall apart and it's not going to recover. And I think that's where we're at right now. And we could see how in this correction back in the day is that it does come down a little bit below this top, but kind of down into here, down into this range. So I would not be surprised to see something in the 39s, 40s, 41s with a wick. Who knows what a wick could do? But from a time perspective, we're super close. So you're tuning in, you're thinking you're going to see a video about XRP, but we've only talked about Bitcoin the whole time. Don't worry, we're going to get there, but we have to lay this groundwork first. So again, with Bitcoin, the correction so far has been 35%. In these previous corrections that we're talking about, Bitcoin went down about 40%. We can see that one was 38.5%, and we can see that this one was 40.5%. Yet by the time it got to that shorts closing area, you could see that it was down about 34.5%, and over here it was down about 35% as the shorts were closing out before it went on to its final capitulation moment, 35%. Where are we at right now? 35%. So structurally, it does look likely that there is one more push down. We don't have the confirmations of the altcoins blasting out of there yet. We don't have Bitcoin blasting out of there yet. And usually when it finds its bottom, it does get going. but I'm really excited to see that Bitcoin has reached this phase, and now we can all move on from the blockchain backer saying Bitcoin's not going to do this, Bitcoin's not going to do that. We're done with that, guys. Now we're looking for the final phase of Bitcoin to come in, and then the big old bounce out of there. And then now what we're going to be watching for is Bitcoin going to be able to recover and get above this price level? If Bitcoin can get above $59,500, the bull run goes on. The market cycle continues. Typically, we see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll see an ABC come out of here. And well, if you get your ABC that comes out of there by taking out that high, what do you end up getting? What do all the newbies love to draw? They're beautiful head and shoulders. And yes, I do think it will be a head and shoulders. So it's optimistic. That's what we're looking for to come out of there. I don't like head and shoulders, but I do know where we are in the cycle if we are doing this. If we are capitulating right now, which I completely believe that we are, the most optimistic thing we can see is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 come out of there. The rule is it must take out the height of the B wave on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Elliott wave, which puts you at 59,600. And then if you ABC back down to the base of wave 4, you can see clearly what that structure makes right in there. And I do believe that's what it would be. And I do believe that Bitcoin will go up into the 70,000s. That is your optimistic standpoint for the market to continue. So being here, right here with Bitcoin, I do not care that if it's going to move down a little bit lower. It doesn't matter to me. If for people like me and people who've been around with my channel for a long time, we know what it's like to hold these coins for years. To hold it through a couple of days of something like this is nothing. We've all been through 75% crashes. We've been through the ringer and back. We're at 35% down on Bitcoin. We're talking about potentially getting down to 40%. And then this big monster recovery coming out of there. And we get to move on from this phase of our life of talking about Bitcoin's not going to go higher. It's blah, 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 right? Then optimism comes and saying, is the cycle going to continue even higher? And this is the thing we're going to be looking for that answer to be told. If for some reason we don't see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of there, and we actually end up seeing an A, B, C, well, guess what? For me, I'm probably going to be sitting there saying, you know what? I think that's the end of Bitcoin. But here's the catch on that. In our previous cycles, during this moment right in here, if this is the end of Bitcoin and it's not going to go any higher, during this ABC correction is when we see XRP take off, we see the laggards in the altcoin market take off, and we see euphoria come to the altcoin market. So either way, there's optimism of what's going to happen in this bounce. Either we're going to see an ABC come out of here and we're going to see those altcoins get absolutely nuts, or we see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 where Bitcoin recovers above 59,500 and this cycle still is going to keep on going. The only thing we have to do is wait for the next couple of days for this bottom to come in. And then the real excitement starts. Either altcoins go absolutely ham, finishing off monster epic bull runs, or Bitcoin breaks up even higher and the cycle goes on for months. And we're just days away from that happening over here on Bitcoin to finish off this capitulative ending. So I'm optimistic. You're not going to be hearing me talking bad about Bitcoin, saying it's not going to go higher. I was very critical of the laser eyes movement. I was very critical of a lot of the marketing that was done by Bitcoiners because it was just so blatantly obvious to me that Bitcoin was not going to go epically higher at this point. But this is its best chance at this capitulation moment happening right now. We get to move on from that phase and we get to find out, is Bitcoin breaking up higher? And that answer will come soon. Now, all right, blockchain backer, you put a big XRP on your thumbnail that I clicked on. Come on, talk about XRP. All right, here we go. Why is all of that important? XRP has been stuck in this range this morning, having some exciting, getting up to $1.70, but not cracking through, not taking out that last Fibonacci retracement level. Have we seen something like this happen before? And we can go back and look at this one right back in here. You can see that we had our crash down to the bottom, our retrace back up in here. We pulled back down below the 382 to come back up one more time before really pulling our way down, right? So what do we have? We have crash, retrace, pulling back down below the 382, then moving our way back up one more time. Uh-oh, is that in the cards next? And we all want that to happen for sure. And well, with Bitcoin falling yesterday, we saw that XRP was the only one to maintain itself and hold itself up. It was really optimistic, right? But if there is this capitulation final moment that's going to happen with Bitcoin, is there the potential for a bunch of margin calls to happen during that time period? And if you don't know what a margin call is, essentially people can borrow money, they can trade on leverage in this volatile market. Now, I personally never, ever trade on leverage. It's a very easy way to lose 100% of your portfolio because you can get liquidated if the price goes too far in one direction. But what happens is if Bitcoin does have this pullback a little bit further and margin calls do happen, what we tend to see is that everything goes down. And what happens is when the liquidation happens, it forces the selling of everything in somebody's portfolio. So that'll be XRP, that'll be anything, Cardano, Litecoin, Ethereum, doesn't matter. It sells off everything because the trader has been liquidated. So if we see this moment where Bitcoin goes into this capitulation, are we going to witness the same thing happen to XRP that we saw just recently happen in that pullback, pulling back down? We have to keep that in mind. And that's why we started this video really talking about Bitcoin and how we're 35% down. We saw in those two corrections that we're 35% down when shorts were closing out. And then we had the final moment, the final push down where it really got bought up for long positions. And well, if we're only at 35% right now, and there still is that 5% further down to go, that dramatic moment that happens that takes it straight down, there's the potential for that happening there with XRP. And now I know people would love for me to come on here and just say, tell us what's going to happen within this range. There's just no way to tell what's going to happen within this range. It's stuck in a range. Once we get out of the range, we're great. But you could see it clearly. I don't have to, say anything else except that we're just still stuck underneath the Fibonacci retracements. We've done the exact same thing we did back in here. There's a potential for a Bitcoin capitulation coming in. If there's a bunch of margin calling and a bunch of liquidating that happens during that capitulation, you know what would happen to XRP in that moment. However, it would only be temporary. It would not be something like we saw with the SEC sell-off where people just sold it off and were terrified. It's a liquidation event. It will get bought up. We have to keep that in mind as we go into this moment with Bitcoin. But I hope that you can tell from the excitement in my voice that I'm so happy we've finally reached this moment. I know there's a lot of people who are disappointed, a lot of people who got pulled into the market, into Bitcoin, up in the upper 50s and potentially even the 60,000s. And they are not feeling happy about what is happening right here because they were convinced of laser eyes and all kinds of stuff. But I hope you understand we have a very normal structure happening here on Bitcoin, and a very good story is going to be told. And that we're ABC correcting, and we're going to find out if we can continue moving higher. And we're finally at that moment. It is not fun for me to come on here for 3 months and not be bullish on Bitcoin. But now that we're here, now that we're at this moment, I can look towards the future and say, what is it going to look like in 2 weeks from right now? In 2 weeks from right now, Bitcoin will have bounced. We'll either see the altcoins surging into crazy bull run territory, or the altcoins will still be chilling, but Bitcoin will be confirming that this bull run will continue going on as Bitcoin breaks above 59,500. Either way, I look at it from 2 weeks from right now, and I think that story is completely told on what we're doing at this point. And really, I don't even think it's going to take 2 weeks. I think we could see this capitulative bottom come in for Bitcoin within the next day, 2 or 3. On that note, I do need to tell you this. I will not be here on Friday or on Saturday. I will be here today, I will be here tomorrow, and I will be here on Thursday. But I won't be here on Friday or Saturday. I have something that I had planned out months ago that is occurring this weekend. And no matter what, I won't be here on Friday or Saturday. Technically, I'm not even supposed to be here on Sunday, but I'm going to try my best to make myself available in case of necessary. But I know without question, I can't be here Friday or Saturday. And hopefully we can get all of this craziness and this big, huge capitulation moment to come in today, tomorrow, or Thursday. And I think there's a really good chance that it will. And then we get our big bounce out of there. We don't see any of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 9% stuff. We see 30, 40, 50% bounces with the altcoins, and we know we're done. It's over. The dramatic move has finished. But as we go into that, and as I am expecting that to occur, we all just have to wait to see how XRP is going to behave within its range during that moment. Will XRP break out to the upside during that moment, or will there be margin calls and XRP comes back down to the bottom of the range in there? I can't predict it. I have no idea what will happen during that moment. But the optimistic thing is that moment is ridiculously close to us. I'm hoping it could even happen today, if not tomorrow. And then we get to put it all behind us and look forward to what's coming now. So for me, I'm excited. I do not care if Bitcoin falls another 5% or whatever, because all technicals show we're reaching the very end of this pullback, and then the real story gets told. Altcoins either go absolutely crazy right now, or Bitcoin breaks up above 59,500 and we just added a whole lot more time to this bull run. But as we head into that moment, we just keep our expectations on anything can happen during the capitulation of Bitcoin, including for XRP. But all right, that's going to wrap it up for this one. I hope that you can hear the excitement in my voice. This is a big deal to me that we are reaching this moment with Bitcoin. I'm very, very excited. I've lived through several of these moments before. I know exactly what it's like for new people in this market to go through these things. They're very, very scary for people who are new, because if you're getting your information from so many different sources, you're hearing so many different things, mix along with all the Elon Musk stuff that is happening right now, and the fact that, let's be real, Bitcoin maximalists can't keep their story straight. Their arguments aren't very strong right now. So there's a lot of doubt that's happening in this market right now, but I've lived through these moments before. I'm very excited to get through it. If you've been following this channel, you know I've been critical of Bitcoin for the last 3 months. I'm actually excited for Bitcoin now at this point, and I think it's optimistic for Bitcoin. So that's where I stand. But all right, that's it. That's going to wrap it up for this one. I hope that you guys are doing okay. If you'd like, of course, you can check out my website over here. This is bcbacker.com. This is my website where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs and the different altcoin market cycles, tying them all together to show where those alt seasons have happened within Bitcoin's bull runs. I talk about my personal exit plans. I talk about percentages, mathematics, rebalancing, all kinds of educational content in here. I also teach you how to set up your own charts and indicators in TradingView and in CoinTrader Pro. And you can check this out over here on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need to pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.